I was viciously slandered on social media with comments like, "She's sleeping with men for money," and "Quit dancing, you're terrible." Despite wanting to take legal action, I lacked the funds. However, at that moment, an elderly lady named Lily, whom I'd once helped when she was suffering from heat stroke, appeared. "May I handle this?" The owner, seeing the old lady, panicked. I was astonished to learn her true identity, and the person who had slandered me was someone completely unexpected. My name is Lucy. My mother, Addison, was a professional flamenco dancer. Flamenco, an intense Spanish dance performed to guitar accompaniment, involves vigorous steps. I remember my mother, beautiful as she danced, her shoes clicking, her dress swirling. Growing up watching her, it was only natural for me to be captivated by flamenco, dreaming of becoming a dancer myself one day. My mother ran a flamenco studio where I learned to dance under her tutelage. I always told my mother, "I want to be a flamenco dancer like you. No, even better than you." To which my mother smiled, saying this, "Then, Lucy, we are rivals. I won't lose." My mother was kind, but strict as a dance instructor. I struggled to keep up with her, sometimes almost breaking under the pressure. However, when I was in middle school, my mother suddenly fell ill and passed away soon after, despite our efforts. Her dance studio had to close, but I couldn't give up on my dream. After graduating high school, I left my hometown and now continue flamenco part-time at a dance studio. Becoming a professional flamenco dancer is, of course, no easy feat. There's no formal qualification, but you can't call yourself a professional without undeniable skill. I must attain undeniable skill that no one can criticize. To achieve this, training in Spain, the heartland of flamenco, is essential. Moreover, studying in Spain requires money. A short-term stay of a month or two won't suffice. I need at least a year of intensive learning. Even a rough estimate shows it will cost several tens of thousands of dollars. Currently, I'm training by performing in dance bar shows, but even that costs money. In places like these, unknown dancers like me don't get paid to perform. Instead, we pay to be part of the show. Famous professional dancers might be invited as guests and get paid, but they are few and far between. I've been learning flamenco since I was a child and believe I have some talent. Acknowledged by a few, but this world isn't so forgiving. It's rare to find someone willing to buy tickets for an unknown, up-and-coming dancer. So I find myself staring at my wallet, heading to the supermarket for the discount items even today. Despite living a life of poverty, my days were fulfilling. After all, I could continue doing what I loved, flamenco, and I had a dream. The hardships didn't seem so tough when they were for my dream. Then, on one particularly hot day, as I was heading to the bar for a show after my part-time job, I noticed an elderly lady walking ahead of me. Something about her gait seemed off. Just as I was wondering what was wrong, she suddenly crouched down. Startled, I rushed over to her. "Ma'am, are you okay? What's wrong?" I called out, but she seemed disoriented and didn't respond. Thinking it might be heat stroke, I quickly took out my mobile phone and called an ambulance. The ambulance arrived promptly, and I accompanied her to the hospital. After receiving treatment, the elderly lady regained consciousness, and we were able to talk a bit in her hospital room. "Thank you so much. I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't been there," she said, expressing her gratitude. I could only humbly reply, No, I just did what anyone would do, struggling to find the right words. By the way, what's your name? I'm Lily. I have to be hospitalized today, but once I'm discharged, I'd like to thank you properly. There's no need for that. I was about to say I was just on my way to the bar when I remembered. Right, I was on my way to perform at the show. I'm sorry, I really have to go now. Don't worry about thanking me, just focus on getting better. I blurted out hastily and started to leave the room. Oh, my name is Lucy. Take care. I left the room in a hurry, not noticing the elderly lady's surprised reaction to my name. When I arrived at the bar, the owner was furious. Lucy, what time do you think it is? Skipping out on a show? Do you think you can become a professional like this? The time slot for my performance had long passed. The few customers who had bought tickets were angry and had left. I'm so sorry, was all I could say, hanging my head in shame. Just go home for today, the owner said dismissively. I had no choice but to leave. As I was about to leave, someone approached me. Lucy, what happened today? It was Harper, a senior colleague from the dance studio where I work part-time, and the one who introduced me to this bar. Of course, Harper is also aspiring to be a professional dancer. She's been kind, helping me out since I moved away from home, when everything was new to me. I was worried about you, Lucy. It's not like you to be late without contacting anyone. The owner was angry earlier, but he was really worried. He thought maybe you'd had an accident or something. I told Harper about the elderly lady with the heat stroke I helped on my way to the bar, and my visit to the hospital with her. Harper listened intently. That's tough. Let's make up for today's mishap with our future work, then comforted me. The next day, when I went to my part-time job at the dance studio, Harper greeted me with a troubled look. Harper, what's wrong? Did something happen? Lucy, you see this email came? Harper showed me an email on the office computer. Curious, I leaned in and couldn't help but gasp. What? What is this? The email was full of slander against me. Comments ranged from childish insults like ugly and gross to more hurtful ones about my dancing, like quit dancing, you're terrible. Then there were remarks about me missing yesterday's show. Skipping out is unacceptable. Below second rate. Know your place. That's awful. I could barely get the words out. I saw it when I checked my emails after coming in. Lucy, do you have any idea who could be doing this? I shook my head. There's no way I would know. That's so unforgivable. Someone doing this? Harper said, visibly upset by my distress. I was too shocked to focus during my part-time job that day. There was a show at the bar as usual after work. Trying to pull myself together, I went to the bar with Harper. But the shock didn't end there. The bar had received a similar email. The owner asked me the same thing as Harper, if I had any idea who it could be, but I genuinely didn't know. I couldn't recall doing anything to warrant such malice. Harper tried to comfort me, but my spirits remained low. Still, I couldn't wallow forever. Part-time work, shows, flamenco lessons, my busy life continued as usual. I steeled myself to get back into the routine. But all my efforts seemed in vain, as the slanderous storm didn't stop. Nasty emails kept coming daily to both the dance studio and the bar where I worked part-time. I tried to ignore them, but it wasn't just emails anymore. Hateful comments started appearing on the social media pages of the dance studio and the bar. Unlike the emails, this public defamation felt truly threatening. My fears came true when someone posted a terrible rumor online. "Lucy, that dancer, sleeps with men for money." I nearly collapsed from shock when I saw this post. At the dance studio where I work part-time, some students complained, and I was told to take a break from work until things calmed down. Who could be doing such a thing? When my stress and anger nearly reached their limit, an incident occurred. After a show at the bar, a male customer approached me as I was leaving the stage. "Lucy, I heard you'll sleep with anyone for money. How about tonight?" He had believed the lies written on social media. Rage and humiliation filled me in an instant, and I saw red. If Harper hadn't noticed something was wrong and come over, I might have slapped that smirking man. Harper calmed the man down and signaled me with her eyes to go to the backstage. Thinking about why I have to go through this, I feel unbearably frustrated. As I held back tears in the backstage area, the owner with a grim look was waiting for me. "Lucy, it's going to be hard to keep you in the shows at this rate." Those words felt like a death sentence. Being ousted from both the dance studio and the bar meant my dream of becoming a professional flamenco dancer was slipping away. Harper, who had just returned, caught me as I staggered. "Lucy, are you okay?" I managed to stand without falling. "I'll sue them." My voice trembled as I spoke. "I'll consult a lawyer and sue them. That's what I should do." But Harper, looking troubled, advised me. "Lucy, hiring a lawyer and going to court costs a lot of money. Can you afford that?" Indeed, I didn't have that kind of money. But did that mean I had to give up? Just when I was at a loss for words, there was a knock and the door opened. It was the elderly lady I had helped with heat stroke. Why was she here? "Ma'am, this area is for staff only. I'm sorry, but—" Harper started to say, but the owner hastily stopped her. "Wait, this lady is Lily, an official from the Flamenco Association. Our bar owes a lot to her." I was astonished. The elderly lady was an official from the Flamenco Association? "It's been a while, owner, and Lucy, I finally found you." Lily smiled warmly at us. "I'm sorry, but I overheard your conversation from outside. May I handle this matter?" "What do you mean by handle?" "I'll consult our company's legal counsel. These kinds of issues are not uncommon for us." Turns out she was the chairperson of a large company. They would consult their lawyers, but as Harper had said earlier, I couldn't afford that. I was about to refuse due to the cost, but Lily wouldn't hear of it. "Don't worry about the money. It's unacceptable for someone as talented as you to have their future ruined. Besides," Lily said, taking my hand, "you saved my life." Her hand's warmth almost brought me to tears. "So don't worry. If I abandoned you here, your late mom would be mad at me." "You knew my mom?" I was astonished by Lily's unexpected revelation. How did she know my mom? "I met your mother, Addison, at a flamenco competition long ago. She was a marvelous dancer." Lily spoke with a nostalgic look in her eyes. Then she said something even more surprising. "I've met you, too. You were little then, so you probably don't remember." I vaguely remembered Mom participating in flamenco competitions, but I didn't remember Lily. "Anyway, leave this matter to me, all right?" Lily spoke decisively, and I could only nod in agreement. "Understood. Thank you so much. Lucy smiled contentedly at my words. We exchanged contact information for future reference and parted ways that day. Unbeknownst to me, Harper watched us with a complex expression. A few days later, I received a call from Lily. They had identified the person behind the slanderous posts. Who could it be? Someone I know? Or... My head went blank as I nervously listened to the name. Harper? I thought I had misheard and asked repeatedly, but it was no mistake. Harper! Why? How could it be Harper? The kind Harper who always encouraged and looked after me? How could she be connected to those terrible words on social media? My mind was in a turmoil. Lily talked about what to do next, but I couldn't comprehend anything. After hanging up, I stood there dazed. Eventually, I realized I needed to confront Harper. She should be at the bar preparing for the show at this time. Rushing to the bar, Harper seemed surprised to see me, but then seemed to understand everything. So, it's all out, huh? Harper, this has to be a mistake, right? You couldn't have said such awful things, could you? It's some misunderstanding, isn't it? I pleaded desperately, but Harper just laughed. A mocking laugh I had never seen before. You really are naive. Her voice was as cold as ice. A dull country girl gets a little good at dancing and gets too full of herself, so she deserves to learn a harsh lesson. Harper? All the praise from customers, the attention from the owner. You must have enjoyed it, right? I was speechless, listening to the torrent of insults coming from Harper's mouth. What's next? Cozying up to someone from the Flamenco Association because they seem beneficial? Seeing my inability to retort, Harper laughed triumphantly. She was about to say more when the owner, followed by Lily, hurried in and stopped her. Harper, stop it. Looking up, I saw Lily behind the owner. Harper, silent and looking frustrated, was led out of the room by the owner. Lucy, are you okay? Lily asked, concerned, as I stood there in a daze. After I contacted you, I also called the owner. I thought we could talk to Harper, as she would be here at this time. I didn't expect you to come and confront her first. I'm sorry for not being more considerate. I shook my head. It wasn't her fault. I had rushed in and got hurt on my own. I never imagined Harper would think of me in such a way. What would happen to Harper now? And what should I do? With all these thoughts, the incident came to a close. A month later, I was at the airport boarding a plane to Spain. Lily had offered to support my studies in Spain. I initially refused, saying it was too much, but Lily insisted. Even if you don't count the debt for saving my life, I like you. If you feel bad, then study hard in Spain and contribute to the flamenco world in America in the future. Lily, thank you. I will definitely meet your expectations. The issue with Harper was still unresolved. I wanted to wait until it was settled before going to Spain, but Lily told me to leave the rest to her, so I accepted her offer. I don't know what will happen to Harper or me in the future, but if we keep moving forward without giving up, maybe one day we can meet again with a smile. So for now, I just believe in that day and continue on